Thank you for joining us. I am Leah Benevente, president of Conscious Michiana, and this is Selena Alcantar from Unity Garden, here to talk to us about Vegan Day, which is November 1st. Thank you for joining us, Selena.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what you do first.
So I'm the youth program and event coordinator at Unity Garden. So I get to hang out with kids and plan all of our events, whether that be community events or fundraisers for us as a nonprofit. And our main goal is connecting people to fresh food, nature, and one another. So we get to have a lot of fun with the community and feeding them.
Okay, that's very interesting. And so Unity Garden, now correct me if I'm wrong, but Unity Garden is a free pick garden for the community. You have one main garden, and then how many remote?
We have about 45 satellite gardens. So they span a size of a single planter box to a large chunk of land. So they vary, and we have a map on our website that shows you all the ones closest to you. Most of them are predominantly around the South Bend area, but we do have a few in Osceola, a couple in Marshall County, and we're continuing to spread. And they're all volunteer.
Yeah, so you guys are really growing within the Michiana community. That's amazing. I know that my daughter has one at Marshall School. And there's a Unity Garden there, and like the kids will plant every year, and that's really interesting. So I thought you would be a great resource for Vegan Day, and kind of give us an idea. So for those of you that don't know, being vegan means that you're not eating any animal products at all. So no cheeses, butters, those kinds of things, eggs. If you are vegetarian, you can incorporate some like fish and some things like that.
Fully plant-based,
no plant-based, yes. So I was a vegan for a little while, and I know you have some people in your life that were also vegan. And I think that people really try to do that kind of as a health experiment. They're wanting to get more healthy, ease their digestion, get some more energy. And I think that's a really great idea. So in order to do that, I think that the biggest hurdle that I would have would be like, what do I eat then? Because like I love peaches, but you can't just eat peaches all the time. Right. So do you have any advice for how we might be able to kind of stay on track for being vegan?
Absolutely. Well, one of the things we really talk about at Unity Garden, especially when we're doing classes on cooking, is, how much of everything are we supposed to be eating? So you are supposed to get fruits and vegetables, obviously, which vegans can do real easily.
Right.
But you also want to be getting your grains, and preferably whole grains. Those are better for you than a more simple carb. And then also that protein. And that's the part that gets tricky when you're doing vegan and vegetarian eating, because protein traditionally is thought of as meat. But there are plenty of plant-based proteins that you can incorporate into your meals, such as like beans and legumes, things like that.
Okay, that's a really good idea. I guess I didn't think about the lack of protein for sure. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was the benefits of being vegan. And obviously right off the top, it's going to lower cholesterol, help with blood pressure, that kind of thing, any kind of inflammation. So inflammation in the body will definitely lead towards chronic illness over time. So reducing that helps your overall health for long term. It improves your insulin sensitivity. So a lot of times, because of like all of the stuff that we eat, it overloads our system. It can't keep up with the insulin due to like the high amount of sugar. And then we've got some sensitivity, mental focus, mood stability. Those are some of the things that are definitely a benefit to being a vegan. But on the other side of that, I know that there are some nutrient deficiencies. So some of those would be that B12 is something that you might want to look into, iron, which is obviously also linked with protein, zinc, omega fatty 3s. So before you start any kind of vegan, definitely look into it. Would you?
Absolutely. You want to do your research on what foods work for you. And you can really find a lot of those, things that you were mentioning, like the omega 3s, fatty acids, things like that, in a lot of plant-based foods. You just have to know what you're looking for. We have a few resources on our website for plant-based eating, but also just learning to cook with more greens. A lot of Americans aren't receiving enough vegetables or fruits for their daily servings that they're supposed to have. So by switching to vegan, you're definitely going to start covering that and just be healthier in general, meeting your fiber intake needs, all of that just with your vegetation increase. But you'll also be able to learn about the way the foods are supposed to be feeding your body as different building blocks.
And I think that's amazing. And that's really what I definitely wanted to highlight today with Unity Garden, is that if you are looking to eat vegan, even if it's just replacing one meal a week, if you're looking to just even, what does that mean? Unity Garden is a great resource for that. I know their founder, Sarah, she is vegan. So she has resources. You have an herbalist on staff. You're on staff. And tell me what your degree was when you graduated.
I studied environmental biology. So I learned a lot about the systems that make the world tick in the natural sense, as well as the different ways that different beings have anatomical needs for things. So talking about foods and the way they build up your body, your muscles, you need calcium, your bones, you need calcium, your muscles, you need sodium, and just all these other things. But how all these pieces make you the well-rounded person you are. If you're not putting that into your body, you're not doing it. We talk a lot about the gut microbiome and how you need a diverse biome to really do the work that it's needing to do. And the only way to have that diversity is by giving them a diverse food source. So lots of different things in there instead of just chicken nuggets and French fries.
Sure, which are good, but we need something else, right?
Yes.
And I also think it's important to highlight that a lot of people can take supplements, and that's wonderful. We want you to definitely be listening to your body, to your doctors, that kind of thing. But what's really unique about food in general, natural food, is that it is bioidentical to our body, and it literally has everything that we need. So, for instance, if you're trying to absorb calcium, you're going to need vitamin D. Well, a piece of broccoli will have that for you together, and you don't have to necessarily do all of the supplements. So, something that's important to remember is that natural food is bioidentical to us, and it does absorb in a different way.
And food is medicine. Food is medicine. That's the first place to start. If you're not feeling well, you want to look at how you're eating and then move from there. Obviously, like you said, you want to talk to your doctors when things change suddenly. But if you've been looking at your diet and you're like, man, I'm really not giving myself what I need, switching it up and seeing if that improves anything is a great start.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Selena. If you guys have any questions, Unity Garden is a great resource. They have a lot of people that are highly educated there. They want to get this information out. They have cooking classes during the summer, and then growing classes during the winter. There's also a growing summit that happens every year in the springtime that's over at the library. So definitely look up their nonprofit, like them, follow them. There's resources, a lot more resources food-based during the summertime because there's a lot more like the free garden. But they do tend to work from time to time with
community partners
like Cultivate Culinary. And then if Cultivate Culinary were to say like donate food to you, how do you get that out to the community?
Primarily through Facebook. Our Facebook is our biggest way we communicate with the community on like day-to-day things that happen.
Okay. So follow them on Facebook, social media, follow Conscious Michiana on social media, Facebook. We also will be sharing some of the things that you do. Some other things I do during the summer, free sound healing.
Yeah, we have sound yoga. We do kids classes, cooking classes. In the fall, we do food preservation classes, really trying to gear people towards how to grow their own food, how to enjoy their own food, and then also how to make it last.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I think it's important to remember, start small, maybe replace one meal, do things that you're comfortable with, push yourself outside of your comfort zone a little, but not to the point where you've just decided you're just going to stop eating vegetables altogether. So thanks for joining us today, Selena.
Thank you.
Follow us again on social media, Conscious Michiana, Unity Gardens, and we will catch you next.